Yeah.
You know when it's recording.
Hey, we're on.
Alrighty, welcome, and welcome to our final learning event for this school year, the grand finale. So while you're waiting in the chat, or while you're waiting, please share in the chat what brings you here and what is your role at your office or school. And we'll go to the next slide. Introduce ourselves. I'm Janine Nakakura, a resource teacher with the computer science team at OSID, and here's my colleague Faith.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
She is an education officer, also on the computer science team at OSID. And here's our agenda for today. Faith, would you mind putting that link into the
Yeah, happy
chat?
to. Working
And
on
I'll
it.
put on the link. So this is our agenda for today, so you can see what we'll be sharing with you, and also all of the links to the resources, also a link to the presentation and the agenda and anything else that we might cover today, all in one place, one-stop shop. Okay, so going back to, oh,
Yay, Shane. Well, Janine switches
going
over slides.
back to the agenda. So the link is in the chat, and everything you need will be in this agenda. Okay. And let's recap our learning events for this school year. And as you can see, we had special guests, and Shane is one of them. So thanks, Shane, for joining us and for sharing
Yay.
back in, oh, I forgot what it was. Was it February? November? Anyway, we had our resource teachers, complex area resource teachers, the leads for computer science share what they learned from the CST and ISTE conferences. And then we had guests such as Shaylin Farnsworth from the News Literacy Project and Jamie Nunez from Common Sense Education. And we also give away prizes at every learning event. Okay. And so taking you back to August, we started with this bell ringer activity, and we wanted you to categorize the different terms. So Shane, if you were going to categorize debug or troubleshoot, which category or core concept would you put it under? And while he's thinking, just to let you know, Faith and I discussed, where we would put, for example, VPN, and we thought, oh, it might go under different areas. And we already did coding for you, big data and digital citizenship, because those are kind of easy. But Shane, where would you put debug or troubleshoot? And there is no correct answer, by the way. Did he put it in
Debug
the
and troubleshoot.
Yeah, debug
Those
or troubleshoot.
are, I would probably stick them into algorithms and programming. And I
Okay.
would put VPN in networks and internet.
Okay.
Yeah, my first guess was algorithms too, but it could go different places.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts. And there is no correct answer. Some of them could go under multiple areas, or depending on what area of these terms, depending on what side you're looking at. Like artificial intelligence involves data, but it also involves programming, and it impacts people, right? Because of what the artificial intelligence learns from the data. So anyway, just bell ringer at every learning event to get us thinking about the topic. And troubleshooting will be one of our review topics for today. So Faith will tell you more about that later. I just want to review our learning event flyer, which has all of the links, recordings, agendas, everything under the sun related to these learning events, all in this flyer. So if you're watching the recording, you can use the tiny URL or the bit.ly, whatever makes you happy or works best for you. Use one of those links to access the flyer. And just to let you know, these sessions were meant to be short, 30 minutes, virtual, everyone invited. We share books, resources, activities, things you can do tomorrow. And the whole idea was to integrate and implement CS, and I'll show that it's more than the 5 core concepts. Okay, so here we go into a review of the core concepts we covered over this past school year. And I'll turn it over to Faith now.
Okay, thanks, Janine. Yeah, so back in September, we talked about computing systems, which is kind of like the integration of hardware, software, and that is needed for input, output, processing, storage, and memory. So, and the next slide is the link to that agenda, and you're welcome to go back and have some fun with some of those things. But we wanted to kind of talk about one of the most common troubleshooting problems on the next slide. And that is, as Janine mentioned, my printer doesn't work. What can I do? And when we had this event on troubleshooting, we someone in the some one of the attendees actually said, "Hey, my printer really isn't working, so can you guys help me?" So on the next slide were some of the links, that resources that we were going to share out, and we used the link to the first one and went through the steps suggested, and we were able to resolve that problem. So kind of fun, being able to help somebody out. And I hope these links, or we hope these links, will be helpful to you and your students. So on the next slide, we talked about, in November we looked at networks and the internet, and we're sharing the agenda for that as well. Um, and you're welcome to take a deeper dive at your convenience. But we wanted to do a little bit interactive activity, and then the next slide has an article that talks about how the pandemic has made it clear that broadband connectivity is really not equal around the state or even just one island. And so this group, Amo Collaborative, is trying to map where the connectivity issues are, and so we can better address them. So there is a link to a survey, and you're welcome to take that survey and help them gather up information so that they can provide some accurate, because right now there isn't a really accurate available map of this kind of information. And along with that, on so there are a couple of links on this slide to test your internet speed. So I'm gonna put them into the chat, and we invite you to check them out. There are two links. Oh, it's very similar. They both kind of measure your download, upload speed, and if you'd like to, I think Janine's gonna try one and see how it works. And while it's loading, I'll mention that I tried this different times of the day, and I found that as one would expect, during the business hours it is a little slower, and in the evening it is a little faster. So it does vary depending on where you are, what time of day it is, what your device is, and all those things. So what did you get, Janine?
Download 59.72 and upload 10.16. Latency 104, and retransmission, I don't know what that is, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like you did the MLab link. Yeah,
Yes.
I tried it too. My download was 78 and my upload was 44. And I looked up what might be really good speeds, and it said a good download speed is 204 um yeah, megabytes per second, and upload would be 74. But then the average is 10 and 3, so realistically, okay, so hope you have fun with that. And on the next slide, part of networks and the internet is making sure that you have a strong password, and more so now than ever, want to make sure that we teach our students how to create strong passwords. So on the top of this slide is a article that helps you to gives ideas on how to build a strong password, and on the bottom is an example of a phrase that you can convert into a password, and what it would look like. And then the final link is test how secure your password is. So I put this capital AGOM password into that how secure is my password link, And it turns out that that particular password would take, um, was it, oh, 3 quadrillion years for the computer to figure out what it is. So yeah, it's strong. So um, have some fun with that. Click on the link, check out your password, or maybe not your exact password, but something similar to it. And on the next slide, we wanted to give you like a minute to experience AI. So if you click on that AI for oceans and then click on the yellow continue button, you can help teach this machine what belongs in the ocean and what does not. So it's just this game that's available in hour of code, and it helps, like, what they call machine learning. And every time we give the machine information, it's slowly building up its own knowledge so that it can respond. So AI is kind of teaching a machine to be more like a human, with visual perception, speech recognition, decision making, and translation. So some of those skills that typical machines don't have. And so on the next slide is Google Draw, and you can click on that and have fun drawing. Maybe I give you about 30 seconds to play with that. And so
I see bun or helmet or circle. Oh, I know, it's mushroom.
thanks, Janine.
I see circle or bun or hot air balloon or mushroom.
Okay, that was fun. Sorry, I was just having too much fun. Okay, next slide.
Was it really a mushroom that you're supposed to draw?
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
draw mushroom.
awesome.
That was easy.
So, so Janine contributed to teaching the machine what is and isn't, so that it can get a better picture of it should, what a mushroom should look like or could look like. So, talking about data, because AI works off of big, lots and lots of data. And so I'm going to turn it over to Janine to cover data and analysis.
Right. So blast from the past again, February, we covered data and analysis. And we just took a quick look at the Hawaii DOE data dashboard. So if you click on this link, you can get to the data dashboard. And one of the things I found out I didn't know was that there are these tabs on the side: longitudinal data, current year demographics, and current year enrollment. So there's a whole bunch of data, but if you want to go back to the original, you can, let's see, Shane, let's look at Shane's complex area, Pro City Waipahu. You can see what's happening in his complex area. And I forgot when the data is updated. So it may not be the most current, but they have school year 2021 there and back to 1819. Okay, so that's just a quick look at the data dashboard for the Hawaii Department of Education. And there's also data for national, there's national data if you're interested, okay? Also, want to do something fun, and I do Wordle every day. And the thing I found interesting was the data, and they give you statistics. And one of the things that stumped me was next Wordle, and it was this like time thing, and then I couldn't figure it out, but I finally figured out it was until the next Wordle. You can do one a day, so it's 12 hours until the next one. And just how they share the data to make it user friendly, but yet simple. And what does this tool 7 stand for? 3 out of. So anyway, just letting you know that even something fun like Wordle uses data and has to show it so that other people can understand what's happening. And then we actually covered algorithms and programming, but we didn't have time to do this. So everybody, we're going to do this together, okay? And I forgot my materials at work, so we're going to improvise. So I'm going to make an eraser buddy. And if you're our learning event today. We'll send you a few of them. I have a bunch at work, so I'll send you a few if you're here today. So what I did was I just got a Post-it note and I just put it around my finger and I drew a face on it. Can you see that? Sorry, I can't see my camera myself. So, and then on a piece of paper, I just did a grid, a 5x5 grid, and with a little arrow down here. So I'm going to click on the handout. And I got this from an AP Computer Science workshop. So this is AP Computer Science, okay? So what you need to do is follow the program, okay, the code segment, and find out where the robot, if it starts here, where it will end up, okay? So can you see that? N is 3, and then repeat 3 times. So we're going to start with repeat 3 times, move forward. Forward. 1, 2, 3. And then rotate left. Here's left, left. That's what has the face on it, so you can tell which way is left. Okay, left. And then N is N minus 1. So then you do it 2 times. 1, 2, turn left. Then N minus 1. It's 1. Okay, so where will this robot end up? A, B, C, or D? So it starts here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Rotate left. 1, 2. Rotate left. 1. And that is it. So what is the correct answer? Anybody know? Where will the robot end up? You can put it in the chat, or you can just say it out loud if you want. And actually, I'm going to leave you hanging. I'm not going to give you the correct answer. Well, we'll send you some eraser buddies with maybe an answer key. So if you're here, you will get a package now.
Zoom in.
Zoom in.
Yeah, Shane says she's old. Not even.
There we
But
go.
yeah, let's zoom in.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Sorry, making you dizzy. Can you see it? Actually, you can click on the link yourself, you know. It's in the presentation. So if you can't see it, feel free to click on the link. So we're running out of time, so I'm going to leave you hanging. Some of you might be working on this while I'm talking, but the handout is here, and we will send you your own kit with an eraser buddy and some grids, and maybe I'll send you the answer also. Okay, so moving on to the next one, which is impacts of computing. We had Jamie Nunez from Common Sense Education join us, and wow, what a treat. So we talked about dispositions for digital citizenship, like slow down and self-reflect. Before you share something, think about it. You know, should I be sharing this? Maybe I should do some research. Seek facts and evidence, you know, consider other perspectives, envision options, take action. And then we talked about, you know, dilemmas. For example, Kalani recorded a video of Ezekiel, posted it on his story, and everyone saw it. Ezekiel was mortified, told Kalani to stop, take it down, but he didn't listen. He thought it was funny. And then the next day at the basketball game, Ezekiel was really embarrassed. So what should have been done? And was Kalani correct? Was Ezekiel correct? Were they both wrong? So if you were them, what would you have done? Okay. And then Common Sense Education has these great free digital citizenship lessons, 6 areas that they focus on. And you just need to create an account, but it's free. And next year, we're planning to do these computer science learning events, but with a focus on digital citizenship. And it will be monthly, 20 minutes presentation, 10-minute question answers. So if you're interested, fill out this form to get more info and to get on our email list. And the goal is to have everybody, or at least one person, one educator in one school in every complex area recognized as a Common Sense education, recognized educator and or school. And it only takes 4 to 6 hours. 4 to 6 hours to become recognized, to do the work and fill out the form, 5 minutes. Okay, so if you're interested, fill out this form right here. And we'll get back to you. We'll send you information. Okay. Just to review the 5 core concepts, it's more than just coding for computer science. And we covered a whole bunch of standards in our 10 30-minute sessions this past school year. 25 out of 93 CSTA K-12 student standards. Okay, they weren't like in super depth. We didn't do it in great depth, but we did cover them. And hopefully you might be covering some of these in some of your other classes. Okay. So here are the happy faces showing the standards that we touched upon over this past year. And here's a sample of what it looked like when we covered the standards, grade band, the core concept, and the number of the standard. And here's a sample. And I just want to remind you that there's a pull-down menu that will give you additional detail. Okay. And again, there are practices. So we covered practices when we covered computational thinking in April. So if you're interested, click on that agenda. And I'm going to turn it over to Faith.
Okay, thanks, Janine. Yeah, so this is Hello Ruby, one of 3 in the series written by Linda Lucas. And this particular one is called Adventures in Coding, but it's really not teaching you any particular coding language. What it is doing is help you walk with Ruby through all of these challenges that she has. And it's a kind of an opportunity to do some computational thinking and problem solving. And that's such a key element in computer science. So I think you and your students would have fun with this. And on the next slide shows how you can borrow this and other ebooks and audiobooks from the statewide free ebook collection. And then we wanted to, of course, as always, give out door prizes. So the persons whose first name has the most letters in common with computer science will win that nifty prize pack that Janine talked about with Eraser Buddy and Eraser Buddy Activity and a couple other mystery goodies that we're going to include. So let's see whose name has the most letters in common with computer science.
Who's at our
So,
event
Terry,
right now?
Terry is here and Shane is here.
Terry Hoke
Uh-huh.
and Shane. Everybody. Shane doesn't have a last name. He's like, Cher or Madonna. Just say his first name.
Oh,
everybody.
Terry figured it out already. She said they're Thai. I love it.
Shane and Terry. They're tied. Well, you know what? Everybody's a winner for attending today. So
Yes, I agree.
So I'll write down your names. And can you fill out our feedback form, please? Our last one for the year.
Uh-huh. Put the link in the chat.
And just a reminder, all of our learning event videos will be on our Hawaii DOE CS YouTube channel. Actually, we have 2 of them, but I'm going to put it on our one channel that's linked here by next week. I finally uploaded my first YouTube video. Well, can you believe that? And so I've got to do the rest.
And we're going to slowly migrate them all to one. So
yeah. But in the meantime, they are listed on our learning event flyer. I put all of the recordings and all of the agendas and presentation slides. They're all accessible from this flyer in the meantime. But eventually they will all be on our YouTube channel. Okay, so we are done. Sorry, we flew through that really quickly. Wasn't sure how much time we would have. So I think we can stop the recording. And if there are any questions, we can chat.
Let me do that.